Sometimes the equipment will break down and your UCO number 1,000 plus.
There are very many guys.
Yeah.
And it's one equipment.
It's one equipment. It's broken down. That means there is no technician to come check it in the next future. Like the next time it will be done probably in 3 or 2 months.
So they just tell you,
yeah,
machine
imeharibika.
Kila
So
mtu
either you have
apambane na hali
yeah.
yake.
So if you're okay, you can go to your other places.
You're
private.
breaking my heart. And
Yeah.
you know the reality of it all is
Yeah.
an average cancer is super expensive. Like
It
an
is. It is
average
an expensive
Kenyan,
disease. Yeah. Yeah.
your I don't want
It
to
does,
curse.
yeah.
Your fate is sealed.
Yeah, it's sealed. I think one, we need information because there's a lot of myths. Cancer still is being attached to HIV. It's still having the same stigma that HIV had in the 80s and the 90s. It's still being called Chira. It's being called Tumaraj back in our village now. It's still being called all these sorts of names.
That Tumaraj statement is funny because I mean, there's no Tuma bed.
Yeah, there's no Tuma bed. I mean, yeah, who would want
but
it?
on low speakers, Tumaraj means a bad disease.
Bad disease.
So it's like, what is their good disease?
Yeah. So it's all a very sad satire, right?
That is just some twisted stuff.
Yeah. So I think one, we need sensitization programs, and we need to empower our primary health care, because the moment we climb pole, we are exhausting our options until we specialize. So if you climb to a point where you need, like I needed a hematologist for my liver, all right, I would go to an oncologist who is hemato-oncologist, somebody who specializes on the liver. Exactly. So sometimes it forces many patients to just even consult a general practitioner who is not an oncologist, because there are very few. Actually, in Kenya, there are fewer. There are under 25 oncologists in Kenya. So you can imagine. So if someone tells you I'm an oncologist, chances are they're still either studying or they're just taking advantage of you. They're very few. So consider the number of people that have been diagnosed with cancer and these oncologists. And most of them are general oncologists. They have not specialized. And sometimes, as by my case, I needed a hemato-oncologist. Sometimes I needed a cardiovascular or an internal medicine person. All right? So these are things that sometimes you end up just consulting a general practitioner because that is the person that was available for you at the moment. And you know, it's very funny because sometimes I would go to the dispensary and anybody who wears a white apron is a doctor, even if they work in the lab, even if they sweep.
Even a midwife.
Yeah. And sometimes, I remember there's a time I went to Paponditi District Hospital and a cleaner had to midwife a pregnant mother who had just come, because that is she knew she could do it, but she's not qualified to do that.
But her hands are tied.
Yeah, her hands are tied.
She'd rather help unless the woman died.
Exactly. So you can imagine the pathetic situation in most of our hospitals.
So for how long did you seek medical services at the government institution? And what would happen now? Let's say machine imevunjika. What happens to the other 1,000 plus guys who are queuing?
Either you die or you wait as you die. That's just the basic reality. And I remember, I think in 2013 the machine broke down and it was on news.
It's only one machine.
It used to be one for radiotherapy.
Ikatoka kwa news.
Yes.
And the queue would be super long.
Yeah.
With one doctor, or they would work in shifts.
A radiologist would be one, probably, sometimes, and they're human.
So probably the doctor too was overworked.
Yeah, they're overworked, and they're human. And sometimes they tell you, let me go have a bite. Let me just go have a bite and rest, dog, I'll come back. And you'll feel like they don't care about you.
But deep down.
I mean, because I had been to many hospitals and I had seen it firsthand. So sometimes when I saw maybe a nurse trying to be rude, sometimes I would understand, because sometimes it is very easy for any person, any human being, to vent out the frustration that they got elsewhere. Actually, most people do that without even realizing. Without even realizing that they're actually projecting their insecurity, their pain to another person.
Plus, you are demotivated. You're overworked.
Exactly.
You cannot be the best
cheerful,
service provider.
Exactly. So we had to wait. We had to sometimes, because sometimes it reached a point where I could only afford public. hospital.
Did they used to charge?
Yeah.
How much per session?
Well, it depends, because chemo and radio is just like drugs in prescription. There's a dose and there's a regimen. So it depends with that drug. So sometimes that drug is not there, you're told, go get it and then we'll come hook you with the IV. So you have to get it from maybe a pharmacy outside the premise.
How much would it cost?
It will cost 12,000, sometimes 25,000.
And they didn't have it.
They didn't have it sometimes.
And what if they had it? In instances when they had it, how much would it go?
For radiotherapy, it was because I had an HIF, it was 500 bob. Yeah. For chemo, they will charge 4,500. Yeah, for a session.
So NHIF would cover it?
Not all of it, partly. And to be honest, I think this is a radical out call. NHIF is simply, I don't think it's really helpful much for many people. At some point, NHIF will just give you the middle finger. They tell you no, just go, because
this is expensive.
There are so many drugs that I cannot get whatsoever. And the days I have to write, I have to apply for them to approve for my scan. And sometimes it will take 2 weeks. So imagine if it is an emergency. I go to a clinic, they tell me, but there you're supposed to do an MRI. But we can't do an MRI or CT scan until you write to NHIF, they approve your scan, the expenditure. So you have to wait for a week. So imagine if it was an emergency, maybe it's an accident, or somebody had an accident. And to be honest, these expensive diseases like cardiovascular, cancer, diabetes, all this dialysis, NHIF kidogo too, and the rest of the bill is on you. So how is it helpful? I mean, they need to revise their packages. They need to, because this is the only national public insurer.
For the regular common man.
Yeah.
Because what if you can't even afford the 4,500?
Yeah.
What happens?
Yeah, what happens to you?
You just wait for your fate.
Because not everybody is able to remit that 500 bob every month. But everybody is capable of doing that. So it's really a sad thing, and I think we need to revise how we even the private insurers. There are drugs they will tell you we don't cover this. There are procedures they tell you you will write to them, you will call them, please cover this, and they won't cover because of the nature of that coverage. It needs money, it needs resources, so it will be it ought to be profitable to them.
Yeah. Assume if the healthcare, whoever is in charge of the healthcare system in this country is watching, what are some of the things you'd want to tell him?
Well, I think first of all, let's go back to training, and it's not just the medics training. It's the way we train our people. Right now the government has rolled in a new curriculum, the CBC, and I have questions about it. I don't know whether it will succeed. I'm very skeptical about it, but I hope it does. I hope it gives us a more holistic result than 844 did to us. I think we should demand for more than just jobs out of an education system. All right? We should have people who are healthy in the mind, who have information. I mean, an average human being should be able to know or have certain information about life, certain runnings of government, certain like agriculture. That's simple, but it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be nerdy, but you have to have certain information. How does it help? One, it helps create a society or a nation that is aware, a society that can be able to champion for their rights or do their civic duty. Because right now Kenyans are suffering what is called apathy. Look at now, like Russia, say Megoma. Nobody is talking about it. People are quiet. They're waiting for the governor to do some miracle. And yet this is something that the governor and his team and his government is supposed to do. It's their duty.
It's not like it's a favor.
It's not a favor they're doing to us. So you see when a government or a governor has commissioned the building of, let's say, a hospital, then people praise him. Hey,
but there's more than that. There's more than a building and equipment.
Exactly. And then also, in terms of training, we need to train our medics to capture the ongoing development within health. Because right now, malaria is at the top. There's cardiovascular, there's cancer, there's diabetes. These are top diseases that are actually plaguing our country. And then we need, like, let's say cancer now. Cancer needs a lot of specialized consultants. If we do not get there, we'll just be training more doctors who are not able to tend to the needs, the demands that are actually happening within Kenya right now. And then the other thing is we need to do a lot of research. You know, countries like the US, there's huge budgets in terms of research, medical research.
Okay.
There's a lot of grants going into universities and colleges, or even individual people. You know, we need to do more research. And research should not be these fancy things that end up on paper or published on the website. It should be practical. It should reach the society. But above all, we need a revolution that comes straight from the rural folk, because that is where the weight stands in. Because that is where we pick people until they go to KNH, until they're told, now this one, the only place that can help you is India. But how many people can afford India? And I think also there's this common thing that goes around when people talk healthcare. They're like, let's make all healthcare facilities public, so that, and then let's make it a law that if you are sick, no matter, even if you're a politician, you're supposed to be tended at this public hospital, so that you know the pain every other person in Kenya is experiencing. And I think it's sort of a noble thing, but it's not really necessary, because these people, they have their own monies. They're able to fly elsewhere to get their treatment. We might still have everything public, but they will still fly out because they have their own monies. But I think we need to empower our healthcare from the grassroots level all the way to the levels of, till the national level.
Yeah.
And we also need to invest more into specialized facilities, because we already, like I told you, there are 4-5 diseases that are plaguing our country. So if we could have more specialized centers for these diseases, it would be easier. So people told me a lot of stuff like, you won't get 4 million. I would go with a card to people and explain to them why I need fundraising, and they would think like you're asking them for that 4 million. Not knowing that it's the small little bit, the 10, of the 20, the 50, that love, that collective love, that is what gives you the 4 million. And sometimes, to be honest, as a cancer survivor, I fight for others and not myself. The days I feel like, mimi ya story yangu imeisha, but I think about somebody who has ever told me I inspire them. I think about my people, my loved ones. I think about my family. I think about my students. Sometimes I feel like, wow, maybe let me try for them.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, I'm not done yet.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
Yeah, there's a reason why. Yeah. So people have been really kind to me, but people have also been really mean to me. But I love to take the kindness, the love, which
is the reality of life. Because in life, there are the good ones, and then there are a bunch of douchebags.
Exactly.
Left, right, and center.
Exactly. So crowdsourcing has helped me. It has lifted me to India.
Wow.
Yeah, I went there courtesy of crowdsourcing.
Wow.
We will win in 2016.
Yeah. It was a big campaign.
It was a big
artists
campaign.
really stood by you.
Yeah. Poets came, writers, and they still do.
Yeah.
To this very end.
Yeah.
And that's I'm really grateful for that. That's kind of love that makes you melt.
Yeah, very very important. Tukona wewe. And there are very many cancer support centers.
Yeah.
Are you part of some?
Yeah, I'm part of many cancer support centers.
Mm-hmm.
In Kisumu here, there's Kisumu Cancer Support Group. It's based in Russia. There's one in Bomet, Tenwek. There's Limau Cancer Foundation. There's Hope. There's Africa Cancer Foundation in Nairobi, but Africa Cancer Foundation is the most prominent. It's big.
Do they also assist patients financially?
I can't say that for certain, but they can know what they do within the programs, if it fits within the program. But what they do a lot of sensitization. They do screening. Like
counseling?
Counseling.
Very important. Mental health is everything.
So they do that, and they also do support the women who've lost their breast through mastectomy. They provide the silicone breast.
New.
Yeah,
Very important.
yeah, very good. The wigs, I know like Eda's Hope is and Limau Cancer Center, they are offering wigs to people who've lost their hair, women.
And it's it's the little things that count.
Yeah, the little things. It's not
the little
small stuff.
Like you don't have to really.
Yeah,
It's the little things.
yeah. For personally, I'm a person of small, magnificent miracles.
Yeah. How has having cancer affected you?
Mental.
Affected your mental health?
Well,
And how have you coped? How have you?
Okay. One, I think having a cancer diagnosis, like I told you, it's a grief. It's like it's like death. So, in the nature of grieving a loved one, that's the same way you grieve your body, your lost sense of person. And obviously, the days you're depressed, depression can be a common occurrence for any cancer patient, whether or not you are cancer or not. And just the general difficulty, because if you are having cancer, that's just an aspect of your life. There's other aspects of your life that are actually going on. You're still going to school, you're still having a family, you're still a mother, you're still a father, you're still a brother, you're still someone to other people, you're still something to other things in your life. You see that? And these things also do affect you. So sometimes it could be from you going through treatment and you feel like you feel like the treatment is beating you so bad, it's beating your body, and you feel low, you feel depressed, and you feel like the need to live, the motivation to live is no longer there. And sometimes these things come from other aspects of your life. So that's why you have to be really careful to listen to yourself, to your body, how it manifests itself, how it goes through the whole process, so that you do not confuse. Because sometimes you feel like you wake up in the morning and you're so moody, and people are like, hey, but leo anakaaje? You see? Akona ititi leo. Yeah. And so the days you feel like, today I'm not going to have treatment. I'm tired.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm done and dusted.
Or
Like
there are days I'm feeling like today I'm going to postpone my chemo. Because the thing is, for me, personally, I do not go to a clinic if my mental health is compromised.
If you are not in that mental
Exactly.
space, yeah.
Because the best thing that has happened to me is my mind. All right? My mind, I have to make it so clear that I live here most of the time. So if it's messy, and here, if it's messy,
give it time.
Yeah, I give it time, so that when I go to the hospital, the healing has to happen. Healing cannot happen when the environment is unconducive.
Because it's holistic.
Yeah, exactly. Healing is not just the meds. Healing is not just the doctors and their syringes in their treatment. Healing is you and that's why I also like doctors who humanize me. I don't like doctors who go and they sit behind the table and they write prescriptions.
The client-patient vibe.
I like them to connect with me. I like them to tell me how is home. And I tell them, how are you? How has today been? How was your shift? Yeah, exactly. So that we see that we connect. We see that I am more than just my cancer. You see that? Yeah, so for everyone who is diagnosed with newly diagnosed cancer, one, acknowledge the fact that it's a very terrible news. Any cancer diagnosis, any disease is always terrible. There's no good and bad disease. But the fact that cancer is very expensive to treat in most countries, including Kenya, but more so in Kenya, that is where we are talking, it makes it even harder to survive it. But it's possible because, one, I am here and many have been here before us. Some have died, but they've died giving us hope. They've died showing us that it's really possible. They've died showing us the strength in community love. They've died giving us love, giving us humanity, giving us the story within the struggle. And that's a really beautiful thing to ignore. I mean, it's very sad that they had to go through all that. It's very sad that they had to leave at some point. I've lost a lot of people. I lost friends and family, and people were very intimate to my heart. But the best I can do to their memory is to honor them with continuing to do that which they would have loved to do while they're here. So I'm still reaching out to people. I'm still giving my heart out to people. But that's not the only thing. You need to be really aware. If any diagnosis comes into your house, there's a time people used to look over the fence and they'll say, it's Nkangane, it's the other people. But now cancer is very much home. It's very rare you find a house that maybe not even a cousin somewhere has no cancer. Like virtually every home you'll find somebody who knows somebody who has cancer. So it's a reality amongst us, and it's very terrible. So first thing, acknowledge the uncertainty that comes with it. Life already is uncertain, but with cancer, the uncertainty it becomes more more out there for you. It becomes a daily reminder. Every day you're reminded of your death, like you could die any moment. That is the truth about life. But now with cancer, every day you wake up, you feel like, wow, it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be another moment. But take also the beauty of knowing that you are alive at that moment. And if there's something you can do, there are things you cannot do when you have a cancer diagnosis, but there are things you can do. You may, like, for a long time I couldn't be able to complete my studies, and it bothered me until I came to a realization that school, I can teach anywhere. I wanted to be a professor. A professor is somebody who has done the research, and they're giving back their knowledge to the community, to the society outside. They're connecting that knowledge to the gap that is outside. I think that's the same thing I'm doing here. I think I'm sharing my story with other people. I'm sharing my journey with other people. So it's really possible. You need to have a very strong relationship with your team, your medical team. You need to ask questions where you do not understand. You need to mend relationships. It's very important, because I can imagine how difficult it is for people who do not have proper, better relationship. Because for me, the only thing that has sort of kept me here are the people that I've had in my circle. People who have cheered me, people who have supported me, people who have shown me a lot of love, who have shown me things that I can be grateful for. And those are things I can't take for granted. But I am really grateful for everybody who's done something for me, who's supported me, who's done anything in their small little ways. That has managed to reach me this far. I'm really grateful for that. So right now we are doing an Mshanga fundraising. If you'd like to be a part of it, you can connect with me on Facebook. I think I'm on Facebook only, OMONDI OCHUKA. And you can also contribute via M-Pesa payment number. It's 891300. 891300. And the account name you can put Ochuka.
How much do we need right now?
We need 1.2 million to go to India. But anything that will be managed would be appreciated.
So thank you for coming.
I appreciate that.
I'm glad we had this
Thank
conversation.
you for having me, right.
Yeah. So that's it, watu wangu. See you next time.
Yes.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Oito.
OMONDI OCHUKA on Facebook and YouTube and SoundCloud.
Yeah. And you can sample his music too.
Yeah, on SoundCloud and iTunes.
Yeah. So until next time.
Bye. Thank you for watching, for subscribing.
Bye.